The Wheel Stand Pro! It's a stand for your force feedback wheel, and apparently it's pro. But is it? Let's find out in this video review. After receiving the Wheel Stand Pro, it turns out that customs think that the Wheel Stand Pro actually has the potential to be a terrorist device. Unfortunately, after taking a look inside the box, they forgot to close it properly. Who knew sim races were so dangerous? Despite that fact, everything arrived in one piece, shiny diny diddly dandong. No pieces were missing and nothing had any scratches on it, probably because it was packaged in bubble wrap and everything came in its own little boxes and bags. Fantastic. Putting the Wheel Stand Pro together was not too hard at all. Everything's well documented with step-by-step instructions. In fact, if you've ever built an IKEA table before, this was a walk in the park in comparison. While sticking the Wheel Stand Pro together and screwing everything in, it became apparent that the device is made out of nice, chunky, solid, well-finished and surprisingly attractive metal. Attaching the force feedback wheel to the Wheel Stand Pro was also nice and simple. The mounting plate comes with holes that support the G25, G27, T500, Driving Force GT, as well as other common force feedback wheels. It also comes with a little mounting plate allowing you to attach the gear stick to the side of the wheel. Now it's not in the best of places and it will make you feel like you're driving a Ford Transit van, but it's better than nothing at all. Attaching the pedals to the base is also nice and simple. You just use the mounting bracket and screw it in and it's solid. In fact, it's so solid you can even kick it, jiggle it, wiggle it, jog it about and they will stay nice and firm in place. Okay, so the wheel's set up and ready to go, but is it any good? Or more importantly, is it pro? Now obviously this device is designed for people that like to play on a potato, have a wife that won't let them buy a sim rig, or simply just want a neat solution to stick their wheel and pedals on so they can move it out of the way when they're not sim racing. The first time you drive with this, you're going to want to set the angles right, tilt the steering wheel and get it just how you want it for your sim racing experience. And that's one of the nice things with this device over just sticking your wheel on a table. You can fully adjust the height, the angle and the tilt, which you can then lock into place so that every time you sit down to sim race, everything's just right. Onto the bread and butter, how well does it actually work when it comes to driving? Given its size and the fact that it only has one central column, it's actually surprisingly stable. If you're a calm, smooth driver and you like to put E45 cream on your hands, then you'll find that it won't wiggle around too much. However, if you're the aggressive mental type of driver and you specifically like Richard Burns rally and drifting, then you might notice that the wheel does tend to woggle about a bit. It wasn't enough to be distracting to us or affect the gameplay, but if you want something that's locked down and as rigid as a sea barrage, this isn't going to be the sim platform for you. Before getting the Wheel Stand Pro, we were a little bit concerned about the central column, thinking that we'd be constantly banging our knees and having it get in the way whilst we were trying to race. However, we were pleasantly surprised to find that it wasn't really an issue. One of the nice things about it being quite a minimal design is that you can hide it out of the way without it standing out too much. All in all, for those of you that want a device to stick your force feedback wheel on, don't want to buy a full sim rig and don't want to build your own sim rig and want something nifty and small that you can stick your wheel on, this is a pretty decent solution. Is the Wheel Stand Pro pro? Well, it's a pro wheel stand. As a pro wheel stand, it's pro at being a wheel stand. So, yes, it is pro. A pro wheel stand, the Wheel Stand Pro. The Wheel Stand Pro costs between £60 and £95 depending on where you get it from. You can buy it directly from wheelstandpro.com. We also found a reseller selling brand new Wheel Stand Pros through eBay directly to people in the United Kingdom. If you want to know even more about the Wheel Stand Pro, click on this video link here where I go over the features in more detail, look at the positives, the negatives and if it's the type of device that will suit you. Thanks for watching this video, I hope it was informative and don't forget you can also check out more reviews, more sim racing and more game videos by subscribing to the channel.